Hello and welcome to Bob's Radio, and this is Bob Talk, and we're doing a repeat of this. And I never thought I will say this again, but I have to. Tamil Selvi, welcome to Bob's Radio. Do
Thanks
you
for
remember
having me, man.
why I said that?
Dude, I actually don't, to be honest.
So, the last time we did this, which didn't go out,
Yeah.
and I was checking about a little bit of history about you, a little study on you, and then it came across that your actual name is Tamil Selvi.
What?
And for the longest time that I've known you, like, whoa, really? The
What do you
Braganza that
mean
are Tamil Selvi in the
What
house.
do you mean actual name? Explain.
So that's what one of the articles said, that her real name is Tamil Selvi and Madhuri Braganza is a stage name.
Listen, no way, dude.
I'm going to put
No
that
way.
out in the B
Like,
rolls, you
I've
can check
heard
it out
of
as well.
crazy stuff online about me, which I have no idea ever existed, but this is a little, I don't believe you.
You'll see it when the video is out. I can probably share the link as well. In fact, the last time I shot this with you, I actually had the link ready from then on. Because I know I'll have to use it someday or the other.
Oh my god. Okay, you have to show this to me.
I will,
Okay,
for
I had
sure.
no idea.
You know, it's like one of these celeb pages that are there. Like, you go check about the information about an artist or
Oh,
something.
yeah, and then
And
there's
one
like,
of those.
Yeah.
Mother tongue was Tamil also. They're like, wait, I know them for a while.
Dude, no way. Okay, I've heard Malayalam and all before, like that my mother tongue's Malayalam because I've done Malu films, but I've never heard this. I mean, but எனக்கு தமிழ் ரொம்ப நல்லா தெரியும் கொஞ்சம்
Yeah, we're
பேச
going to
முடியும்.
figure that also in time. This is Madhuri Braganza, not Tamil Selvi, known to a
Hi,
lot
guys.
of Bangaloreans. And Madhuri
Hi,
is a friend, sister, very good friend, sister, and also a good friend for a long time. And we want to talk about a lot in terms of who Madhuri has become today. Of not just a well-known face in the city, but also someone with a big heart with things that you do. And
Thank you.
celebrity quotient also, of course, we'll touch upon.
Yeah.
But there's also another side we want to talk about is you as a Bangalorean. So we're going to dive into these topics as well. But as we, get to understand, you and I come from a similar circle of people, and we've known each other, grown around each other, seen each other for the longest time. And it's great to see where you've gone. Like, I know you studied architecture, but
Yeah.
there's a very core passion of yours, and that's in
Yeah.
special education.
Yeah.
Not many would, go on to pursue something like that. Where did it, hit you, and where did you start this whole thing off?
Yeah. Actually, I think I've always had it, but sometimes you just take a little time to discover stuff, right? Like to figure things out. And I think when you're like between 16 to 18, that's when like you're supposed to discuss and decide, and that's way too young, according to me
Yeah.
at least. So I ended up doing architecture, and because I did pretty okay in the pretty well in the entrance test, and but that was clearly not where my heart was fully at. So yeah, and I knew that I always wanted to be a teacher, like while growing up, because I had so many younger siblings. My parents were like, yeah, you're really good at teaching, and yeah, they're learning very well. And I'm just like, yeah, so can I become a teacher? And they're like, no, what is no way, you have to do a professional course, and you have to do, and they gave me 5 options.
Right.
And I'm like, man, we're not like from the 40s. Come on. So then finally, I ended up doing architecture. But then during my architecture days, I was volunteering with an NGO called UNI. And I was volunteering at a government home where there were
Right.
about 80 plus boys of different ages, above the physical age of 16-ish, I think. But mental ages were way younger. So I would do that every Sunday. And suddenly I was like, I think I enjoy this more than my architecture job and what I'm doing from Monday to Saturday or Monday to Friday. And I spoke to my parents about it after working as an architect for almost 2 years. And they were like, you're going to waste 7 years of your life after studying for 5 years and working for 2 years. And I was like, yeah. I mean, not wasting, but time is money and time is effort and all of that. So, but nothing is ever wasted, I think, because you always fall back. You can always fall back. You can always use your skills that you've learned. So, yeah, then I found a course with the help of a friend and did my master's in special ed. And yeah, the rest is history.
And there's also history in terms of having a lot of heart, and that comes from the family as well. I mean, the parents will, of course, are great philanthropists. They are out there when a lot of people are in need, and I've seen that over time too. So I'm guessing that is what is transcended to you.
Yeah, I think my parents, they just, I don't know, they just have very giving hearts. And even if like today someone comes, it happened like a few weeks ago, someone comes to the door, right? Like anyone in the rain or someone who hasn't eaten or anything, they just will never say no. They'll give them a bed to sleep on, they'll give them clothes, or they'll give them a blanket, or they'll give them food, or they'll give them money or whatever. And my dad's always said this thing, even though he has 6 kids, right? It's not easy to like support and bring up 6 kids. He's always said this thing from the Bible which says God will provide, and he's always had what he's needed. And I've gone through my weird phases of religion being shoved down my throat and being agnostic for a while, and now I'm a believer, and I'm like, it is true, he will always provide. And I think that it has been a very influential factor for me. And also growing up in church, there were a few people who had Down syndrome, a few children who had various mental disabilities, right. And I would always be very intrigued, like I'd be like looking at them, observing them, wondering, okay, why are they like that and why am I like this, from a very young age. And my parents were part of the round table and the lady circle. They used to do a lot of social work with that group as well. And I remember them taking me to this school called Shishu Bhavan for an outreach program. And I just fell in love with those kids. Even though I was so young, mm-hmm. I would like want to carry them. And I remember one of the babies having a really big head, like, how like physically deformed sometimes, right? So I was just like in love with that child, and it was just something that I remember always having a magnetic kind of attraction towards. So I'm so happy that I'm doing it professionally now, and there's nothing that gives me more fulfillment. Yeah.
And even when you mentioned, usually I wouldn't talk about this, but then I think because I'm going through a certain phase in life as well, it's high time people like us, even go about mentioning. It's not wrong to follow religion as long as you're not shoving down someone's throat.
Exactly.
And even when it comes down to our faith, we tend to not speak about it because we tend to think, okay, we will be judged based on what someone else is going to think.
Yeah, exactly.
And
to each their own.
There is one thing that is for true is some people may call it manifestation, some people may call it real faith. It's hard to have that much of faith that has been told to have.
Yeah.
But in terms of manifestation, if people have to look at it that way, I think there needs to be strong amount of belief and conviction in what you want to do.
Yeah.
And eventually you will be provided with whatever you need for that.
Yeah, I think the desire to do something like is what it initially takes, and then hard work and persistence and dedication, determination, all of those things come, and you need strength for things like that. And strength just doesn't come automatically. It comes from your conditioning, your experiences, your faith, your so many different factors. So I think faith is something that it's something that you can't see, but you just have to believe in, right? And it takes, like, I've had miraculous things happen in my life. Like, just for a small example, I was 75% bald, and no one would ever believe it now if they see me, because I did have alopecia areata for a good chunk of my time during my architecture college. And it was such a tough time, like, teachers thought I had cancer. my class rep thought I was going through chemo, so many different things. And I would come to college wearing hoodies because literally I would run my hands through my hair, and so much hair would be in my hand, like literally a tuft of hair. And that was those were the years where you want to look your best, you want to be attractive, and attract the good looking guys and all of that nonsense. And then you realize you're so much more than your physical looks, man. You're just literally, your body is just a vessel that you're in, but like your soul, your spirit, and who you are on the inside is so much more valuable. Yeah.
These are things we learn over time in terms of, like you said, the experiences is what shape us and mold us into who we become over time.
Yeah.
But too much of gospel.
So much of setty stuff. Anyway.
But we'll get on to the fun side of it before we get into something more serious later.
Yeah.
How is it being the only sister amongst 5 brothers? 5 brothers, 6 brothers?
Five. Yeah. 6 children, 5 boys. Yeah. And my older brother's married now, so I finally have a sister-in-law, but sister. And I think I'm quite a boy because I've grown up with 5 boys, and I'm quite like, I don't understand girls, man, sometimes. I just don't. Like, sometimes I'm like, why is this so complicated? You can just keep it simple. But I think when you have so much of masculine influence around you and the testosterone is just flying around the room, it's like there's no place for like estrogen. But it's been super fun because I think guys are very simple and they're very it's like sport, music, just making fun of each other, bullying each other, and like WWE
Oh.
stuff like that. So yeah, and football, of course, which I've been playing now for the last 1.5 years. Like growing up with just watching them be such huge fans of football, and of course playing cricket and playing just generally being super sporty with all of them. Three of them actually have represented Karnataka in football.
I think the younger lot.
Yeah. And I've always been like, how can you just be chasing this ball around, dude? It's so boring.
And imagine you're seeing this from Lalit's time to the youngest one.
For the last 30 plus years. But now when I play it, it's so much fun, and it's so the focus you need to have, your your foot-eye coordination, and just the general level of strength you need in your quads and your hamstrings. I think having worked out for a while, I can actually see
Fall
see
in love
the
with the game?
value
Have you
in
fallen
it.
in love with the game?
Not fallen in love and all. I've fallen in like.
Okay. You like, I mean,
It's
a
fun.
good
I play
start.
every
It's a
Thursday,
good
yeah.
start.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys, of course, like me, would say it's a different thing when it comes to playing football.
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
the only only place we let out our emotions.
Yeah.
But for you to have these brothers, 5 of them, and then also, it's one thing is you were a part of a certain generation, and you have brothers who also take you into another generation.
Yeah.
So have you seen any sort of a difference in terms of conversations?
Yeah, dude, very, very apt and good question, because it's so different. Like how Lalit and Rajat were, my older and just the immediate brother after me, and the younger three are, it's like, I think Vineet, the middle one, is kind of a bit like both, I think. And the younger two are very different from, I mean, of course, they're all great people and individuals, but just the way they think, experimenting, and just like in life being the lingo, and just generally the
Gen Z.
like when you look at love, for example, and relationships, right? Things are so different now compared to how they used to be. Like my youngest brother's less than half my age now. So it is very different to see, and I actually get scared sometimes. I'm like, man, if you all are doing so much at such a young age, and growing up so fast, and we didn't have internet in our faces, let's be honest. We had it, but it was not like how social media is now.
It was mobile dial-up.
Yeah, exactly. We had to actually spend some time to download a song and listen to it and like enjoy.
Memory cards and all of the thing
Yeah,
back in the
exactly. And photos and burning CDs and all of that. But now it's like everything is just instantaneous, and that want for immediate happiness is something that I've noticed with the younger generation, where I'm like, man, y'all need to literally just chill, just breathe.
It's always about immediate gratification today.
Yeah,
and
it's quite
I was just
freaky.
having a chat about this with someone, like, how you said accessibility
Yeah.
is all around for every single thing that you need. But do you own any of it? That is another question.
Yeah, like accessibility is like insane, man. Like we even say something as simple as video calls, right? When we were young, we had to go to an STD booth and call, right? And
that only
hearing
on the
them,
phone.
hearing
And for 1
them.
minute.
Exactly. Now it's like just in a second you can see someone who is so far away, and I think like we take those things for granted now because it's so easily available, and we value things less now, I think. But good luck to the younger generation is all I can say.
I don't know about valuing things less, but there's one thing that your family has a lot is values that y'all have been brought up with, right? Now, education is of the utmost importance that is given to you in your family, and I know this because of knowing Lalit as well.
Yeah.
For your family to say, okay, this is what I'm asking in terms of the entertainment industry.
Oh.
You probably gone and sang in, at karaoke's, at events of sorts, because you're musically pretty well gifted in the family too. But when it comes to movies, I never thought, someone of this particular family would go ahead and pursue something in the movies, especially South Indian movies.
Yeah.
Right? So how is that transition happening? Was there some sort of convincing needed?
My dad honestly was not comfortable with me doing it from a young age, which is why I started so late. I did get offers or suggestions and recommendations. My aunt, especially my mom's cousin's wife, she knows people in the Telugu industry and the Kannada industry, and she was like, why? When I was in my early 20s itself, she asked me, and it was not even a question because my dad's like, studies, work, and all of this is like way more important. Get your degree, get degrees, and do whatever you can, and then I think also he wanted me to grow up mentally and emotionally as well. So once I got my first proper offer when I was like, I think I was 26 or something, um, he was not very comfortable, but he was like, okay, let's see, all I can do is pray for you. And yeah, I that was a tough one where I kind of got the role and then I got rejected after that and blah 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 for Charlie, right? But now they are very comfortable and they know that I can kind of stand on my own two feet and I can be mature about my decisions. It took a little bit of, it took a few bad experiences also, especially with like not getting paid, having things in writing and contracts. All of that I had to kind of learn the hard way, because my dad is a chartered accountant and he's super particular about not being paid in black and all of that stuff. So yeah, but now they're very chill about it, and it took them a few years, especially my dad. My mom has always like been my PR agent, like she's like telling everyone and like marketing and being very supportive all the time, which is really nice to have. And yeah, my dad too now. So yeah, I'm super blessed, man, to have supportive parents. Yeah.
That's really good, because to know that you can convince parents to let go of their ideologies.
Yeah,
Especially, I keep saying this, we're part of that generation that actually broke the norm, the stereotypes.
yeah.
To say it's not just about careers of, lawyers, doctors, engineers,
Yeah.
there's more than that.
Yeah.
And what we've created or other people from our generation have created is what the Gen Zs are being benefiting
Yeah,
out
like
of.
literally.
But they, I don't want to say the word ungrateful, but they're like, no, we have to do more than that. Why? Because you all have done everything. We don't know what else to do now.
Oh, that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My older, among the six of us siblings, the first three and the last three are very different, or rather, like the brother after me, he told my parents, I'm going to be a chef or I'm going to be nothing. So then they were like, okay.
Okay.
So now we have to be okay with it, right? So, and then I shifted after working as an architect, I moved to special ed and acting. So then when the fourth child was like choosing between engineering and music, they were still a bit like, no, better to just have the engineering degree. And then he did a semester and then he came back and told us, listen, please just tell them no, I can't. And then we spoke to our parents, and my parents also kind of agreed, and then he quit engineering and pursued music full time. So now he's killing it. He's like teaching guitar, he's doing music production, he's like
Nice.
done a few courses and he's doing really well.
This is
Yeah.
examples of how timelines in terms of parents' ideologies change, and
Yeah.
they evolve with the times and
Yeah.
the people. So this is just an
And
example.
I don't
of that.
know if that's all parents, man.
Not
I
all
think
parents, yeah.
like there are some who are still stuck in jobs where they are not fully happy, and their parents are like, no, this is what life is.
Yeah.
So I think we're also really fortunate to have parents who are willing to evolve. Yeah.
That's the case. I mean, it may not be like 100%, but then there is still quite a lot of them who have evolved over time. Whether it comes to jobs, whether it comes to even norms of society,
Yeah.
a lot has changed. And let's dive a little deeper into the movies. The first movie you did, which was that? You know why I'm asking to say this?
Because how I can't pronounce it.
No, not because of how you can't, but I just want to listen to you pronounce it.
Ende Mirgathiri Attarangal.
Without accent, if you can.
It's just top-notch Malayalam, okay? So it's actually my candlelight dinners. Yeah, Ende Mirgathiri Attarangal.
And how was this movie experience? This is the first one.
Yeah.
How did you land it, and how was the experience with it?
It was a very tiny cameo. It was like just a one-day shoot. And I honestly had washed my hands off this whole thing after my previous experience with Charlie, right? Because they just sent me back to Bangalore after deciding that I was going to be in the project and all that, and never picked up my calls after that. So I've had a little bit of animosity also towards the industry. I was like, how can they be so cutthroat? And but then I realized that just this is how it is, man. Most industries are like pretty, you have to be thick-skinned. So I was like, okay, fine. If they really want me to act in it, since this is a different team altogether, let me go and try my luck and try my hand at this whole thing. And I was like learning my dialogues, even though it was just one day. Now when I think about it, I'm like, what? It was just one day, but uh, it was a very nice shoot, and it was a great experience, and it almost undid that previous experience, even though that was a whole project.
Like
This
it
was
changed
just
the whole
one day.
perception of it.
Yeah, it kind of I put my restored my faith. So yeah, it was just one day, and I shot it, and it was literally a phone call that I had to shoot. Like,
I don't know.
He's a very, very bad man.
So sweet of
The
her.
Mohanlal thing.
no, this was with Anup Menon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just someone who, like, his ex-love or whatever, was calling him and wishing him and stuff. So after that particular movie came out, and that they did a lot of PR for that, and even though I had such a small role, they gave me importance in the sense of, like, when we had posters and we had a magazine interview and all that, they gave me importance, and I found that really nice. And I think he was also trying to undo my previous experience.
Okay.
I was like, I can't handle this Malayalam industry. It's just too, how could they do that to me? So now he made me feel a little better. And then after that, I was like, okay, I think it was just a one-time experience. So, and luckily I've had great experiences after that.
And after that is when you did Joseph.
എന്തായി എന്താ പറഞ്ഞേ
കുഴപ്പമില്ല
പറ
ശരിയാ
There's a church in the film, and there is a priest in the and the
And I have
name
all
of the
5 Josephites at home as well.
yeah, exactly. The name is Joseph. But yeah, that was a very fun shoot, man. I mean, it obviously required a little bit of, because there was an intimate scene and all, it required me to just like shake off all the awkwardness. But it's still one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked on.
Is that the one that won the National Award as well?
Yeah.
And what did it win for?
Best actor, and I'm not sure, I think direction maybe, yeah.
Now, this is a movie that actually put you on, I wouldn't say pedestal, but gave you a lot of leverage.
Yeah.
And has it been helpful ever since? Because the reason I'm asking you this is, the last time you met, you kept saying, how many auditions you have to go back and forth. How many times you have to go and, even for ad shoots back and forth. And it just doesn't click. It takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while. Sometimes even if you get through and get shortlisted for something, maybe you don't match the co-actor, or maybe you're too tall, or maybe you're not learning the language well, or it could be anything that ultimately last minute doesn't work. Yeah, so I think it's also about just grabbing opportunities, which earlier I used to think was very like, no, let things come to me. If I deserve them, only then I'll get it, and all this nonsense. But now I've changed my thinking, and I feel like you need to go after what you want, because India's population is quite competitive and quite large in number. So you need to really be seen, do as much as you can to go out there and get what you want, not just sit back and wait for it to come to you.
When you say go out there and get what you want and to be seen, is it to be seen in the public eye in terms of a certain media? Or, what I mean is to be present in the media in all sorts of news of sorts? Or do you say going and networking?
I mean, doing more of your craft and honing your skill, and investing back into yourself when it comes to your passion, right? Like if it's going and doing a workshop, learning, doing an acting course, or going and meeting casting directors, getting a portfolio done, speaking to photographers and checking your angles, seeing what works for you, doing monologues, doing mono acting, various kinds of things that can put you. And of course now we have social media, that is where you can put up your own, you can literally write your own work, put up your own work, and it can be a film that's like on social media or
Now you also mentioned about how one has to go out there and get what they want. Now there are 2 ways people can think about this particular field, when it's especially the creative industry, where a lot of your creative mind is put to practice. One can say, I want to do something that is going to get me the value for it. I'll wait for it if I have to wait for it. There are some people who also say, no, I have to, whatever comes my way, I will take it.
yeah.
Right? When you see these sort of, I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot of people say different things to you.
Yeah.
And it tends to like just eat into your head, like, and then you're like confused. What do I do? What do I choose? So
I think you need to make your own decisions. Everyone's going to say different things. Like from the beginning, I decided, I think it was because I was looking at various actors who I looked up to, and I was looking at how they did things, and they and I also had a mentor in the industry, right? And I spoke to her, and she also told me that you don't need to do something if you are not comfortable with doing it. Not just comfortable like morally, or feeling like there are creeps around. Not just that, but if you're
Like
not comfortable,
forcing yourself into it.
if you're not comfortable budget wise, if you're not comfortable story wise, if you're not comfortable with your co-actor, if you're not comfortable with anything, you do not have to say yes. And the thing is, people are desperate to be on the silver screen, right? People are like, will do anything. But that's the difference, where if you have something else that you're doing and you're earning with, you're not dependent on it, and you're not going to be like, oh my god, if I don't get this project, I'm not going to be earning for the next, like, I don't know how long, and you're just like, suffering in this hand to mouth existence. You have to have another option, and that's with anything, honestly, like any sporadic income. It doesn't have to be just acting. I think even as a musician, or like anything that you're freelancing with. So when it comes to also listening to people, since you asked, like sometimes my dad and mom will have two different things to say. So I'm like, bro, y'all are supposed to be a team. But ultimately you have to decide, do you want quality, do you want quantity? Do you want to be seen more, or do you want to do only a handful of projects, right, and do each project to make an impact? And there's no right and wrong. There's honestly just two different ways of doing it, and both work. In some take longer, some take a shorter period of time, but you just have to decide the way you want to do it and not be confused. I think the more certain you are with your approach, you can move in that direction. Right. Otherwise you're like neither here nor there. And that happened to me for a few years after the pandemic. Like for 1 or 2 years I was like, okay, should I be just saying yes to everything, because now for 2.5 years nothing has happened? Or should I just, and I almost had to start from scratch with budgets, especially with ads and stuff, right? Like Bangalore budgets went down a lot, and I was like, should I move to Bombay, should I move abroad, what should I do? And now I'm more like
happy,
and I'm more content with my choices, and I've put down pros and cons and decided, okay, this is what I want to do. And for me, I think quality is definitely something that I look for more than quantity. So if that means less work, so be it. But if there's a story that's not impactful, or that's not something that is gripping, or there's no acting like scope, then I'm not going to do it.
When someone looks at you and understands you're an actor, there would be judgment. You're like, wait, what do you even do? Like, you probably just...
What's your real job?
What's your real job? And then other thing is, what do you probably do in a day? You just might go meet some friends. Then if there's a movie, you'll go shoot and come back. But I'm guessing there's more to that, because the special educator partner, is that something that you do on a daily basis? Because to dabble both these, and then also ads that come along.
So there is also theatre that I sometimes do, musicals. Then sometimes here and there voiceovers as well. But my main job is a special educator, I would say, because I do that on a daily basis. I have classes every day. And I'm still getting new students. The demand is huge. Like, it's especially now, I think people are more accepting and more open. And earlier they would not want their children to be exposed, and they would think of it as a curse and all kinds of weird things. But now, I think even though India is at a nascent stage, I think we are developing and growing with respect to special ed. So I'm like really looking to make as much change as I can and help as many students as I can right now. So, and I'm in between projects right now, so I don't miss
these classes.
I try and do as regularly as I can.
And I must confess that the last time we spoke, I didn't know what exactly was special education in terms, like, in depth of it. I knew what you exactly do. But then I spoke to another person who I did a podcast with. I don't know if you know Champa Saha, maybe you would have heard of her.
Yeah.
After speaking to her, it gave me a different perspective of how you look at life, and of how they look at life. And how I don't want to use the word empathy, but I think we can be a little more human in terms of reactions, and how the entire clique of it depends on behaviorisms from that side and that side.
Yeah, man, it's it's like basically a person with special needs, there is zero fault of theirs, right? It's just something that has happened to them. It's something that they are born with, usually, or something that is, if it's a mental illness, it's developed over time. Yeah, so it's not their fault, and they're just born like that into the world. And if you can find what skills they have, what talents they have, hidden talents they have, and actually give them a fulfilling life in some way, I think you're making a huge difference in the world. And I understand, like, okay, when you're acting in a film, the film will be there even after you die and go. But, it is something that is permanent, and it is a big thing. But what difference are you actually making? Like, you're making a difference with respect to, okay, you're giving entertainment, and I'm not belittling the industry at all, but I'm saying when you compare it to special ed, in my case, it's like you are actually in real time affecting the
Creating an
lives.
impact.
Yeah, creating an impact positively for the parents, the family, the child, the people around, society, or sensitizing people, and making things more inclusive. And I just think that there's nothing that's more fulfilling than making an impact.
You don't have to make it sound like you're trying to belittle the industry, but I think it's something
Yeah.
that you feel very core to yourself.
Yeah.
Uh, it's as simple as how good someone feels when they make somebody smile.
Exactly.
And on a similar note, when you make an impact in someone's life, I'm sure
Yeah.
the joy is much, much higher and rewarding.
Yeah, it is. And of course, films have a completely different type of fulfillment. And I feel like the emotions that you can elicit from a film, and people watching, right? That is also super fulfilling, and getting into the character. And honestly, to be an actor, you need to have a good level of empathy, because you need to understand certain
Emotions.
emotions and situations, and be able to fully empathize and sympathize with situations and people of various ages. So yeah, I think I'm super blessed to be a part of both industries.
You're super blessed with certain skills as well to bless some people with creating an impact. But let's come back to the movies. I asked you this earlier, but I'm going to ask you this again. You went to the Malayalam industry. You came back to Kannada. You did a movie called Kushka. How meaty was your role?
Oh my god, yeah, meaty is such a damn good wordplay, dude. Yeah, so
This is also a repeat, I'm just saying.
I don't even remember, man. So much has happened since we shot last.
Yeah.
I don't even remember when we shot it. But Kushka was my first Kannada film, also my last at the moment. But I was a Muslim girl, and I was wearing a burqa most of the time in that role. Okay, maybe half the time. But it was very nice to be in Bangalore and shoot in Bangalore and go and sleep in my own bed. That was one of the major perks of shooting a Kannada film. Because other languages, I'm obviously in other states and other cities. So, and it was also a very new team. So, they did have veteran actors who did, guest appearances and cameos. But I think I was more comfortable with the language, so it was much easier for me to act. Yeah, I think Kannada and Tamil I'm more comfortable with than Malayalam. So even the promotions and everything, I could actually speak the language very conversationally. So I really enjoyed shooting.
It's one of the best things with being a part of the city, right? You get to learn languages just at a drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you need to, you just go a little more deeper into it.
Yeah.
And you have done that with Malayalam. Kannada, of course, we've learned from
Yeah.
school and everything. It's our state. And then when it comes to Tamil movies, you also spoke of how your maid used to watch TV at home, and you actually grabbed a certain line of a very famous mnemonic of a certain channel.
Sun TV, Tamil Malay. Are you talking about that?
For me when I picture Lalit and I see you and you're saying this.
And also Rosapu, Chinna Rosapu. My maid used to be in love with that song.
Are you building Tamil fan base now?
Man, if I'm already called Tamil Selvi and all, that's just...
Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. But I'm actually looking forward to the release of my Tamil film, my first Tamil film. So the other one, unfortunately, we didn't finish shooting, the one with Prabhudeva. But that not everything's in your control, so I stopped.
You do what you
myself
can
up.
and let the universe and fate take control of the rest. So what is this movie about? I mean, I'm not going to say about in terms of tell me what exactly it is, but it's called something. You can tell us what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Spray.
Okay.
And it's about a couple that goes on their honeymoon, newly wedded couple that goes on their honeymoon, and the honeymoon gets really, really bad and messed up, and then they are like basically trying to find someone throughout their honeymoon. And yeah, that's all I can reveal.
Spring polyamory in today's time.
No, man, God, it has nothing to do with polyamory. But I mean, there is a bit of irritation because my husband's best friend is just always around, and I'm like, why is he here? This is our honeymoon.
This is how I'm going to make the promo. My husband's best friend is always here. Why is he always here?
I'm not married, okay? But yeah.
That's not going part of the That's just part of the chat. Now, you spoke about the Tamil industry. You've done Malayalam. You've done Kannada as well. I know you mentioned this last time, but I'm still going to ask you if there has ever been a change. Which industry do you prefer amongst the three? I know this is your bread and butter, but I'm saying if you were to say in terms of professionalism, you have to just make it easier for you in terms of professionalism, in terms of an industry that's more artist friendly, irrespective of where the artist comes from.
I think the Tamil industry, since I've done just one film, it made a really big impact in my life in the sense of everyone was super nice. Everyone was very accepting, even though it was my first. But I remember this happening with the Malayalam industry as well. I don't know, man. I think it's a tie between Malayalam and Tamil. I don't know. But maybe because I'm more comfortable with Tamil as a language, maybe that's why I preferred Tamil. And I had to learn a dance where they literally gave me an entire day to learn the dance, and I had to go to a studio, and she was very nice, the choreographer, I forgot her name, she gave me time because she knew I wasn't a dancer, and just having that whole day to just be dedicated to it was not rushed,
right.
That was also something that I really appreciated. Yeah, they were not like, okay, we're going to learn the dance on set immediately and you just have to do it, and we're just going to do little of this and little of the shooting and that's way too much pressure for someone who's not a dancer. So yeah, I think I really enjoyed and I really want to do a lot more. Hopefully I will do a lot more.
God willing.
Yeah.
And you also told me once that you've never had a language at home, mother tongue growing up at home. But that also means in Bangalore, for a lot of us, mother tongue means that you speak in this colloquial way of how you speak. But has that been a deterrent for you because of
yeah, it has.
in the industries?
Because I've always said this to my parents, like, why didn't you all teach us one language properly? Like, at least I would have gone into that industry properly.
We got you to this city so you can learn whatever you want.
Yeah, and my mom's like, yeah, but now see, you have variety and all. But yeah, so I think if you have a mother tongue, you can really go and kill it in that field, in that particular industry. So I don't know. I thought because I'm in Bangalore and I can speak Kannada, I can just manage. But it's still, unless it's your mother tongue, you won't know it as well. And even the accent won't be as good. So I've been dubbed. All my films have been dubbed. So yeah, it is something that I wish I had, like a mother tongue.
And there are some actresses who are from Karnataka and have gone on to be successful in other states, like other industries,
Yeah.
right? Now, you're from here. I'm not saying your Kannada is bad, but I'm saying this is such a weirdly wired industry because of the fans that anything that you do, something might trigger them and they might go at you for some things that you say.
Yes.
Negatively.
Yes.
Right? And there is one particular actress who did mention something about this industry and went about, although being from here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in your case, there is a particular challenge in terms of the accent not being right for the movies.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't know the language.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you would say there's something wrong about this particular industry and that the other industry is better, do you think you're going to put yourself into some sort of a trouble here by saying this? Because knowing how vocal some people could get online?
Yeah, so honestly, I've dealt with so many of these incidents online that I just don't care anymore. Like, whatever they want to say, they can say. It's fine. Like, it really, if that starts affecting you, it's just a slippery slope, man. Like, I remember this one guy was really acting strange online and telling me that, you should not be wearing clothes like, because when they see you on screen, they think that this is who you really are. And I'm like, it's called acting for a reason, like, because that is not who you are. But then when they see you dressed in like shorts or in like, just chilling or even like holding a beer or like doing whatever, they're just like, my whole life is a lie. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, this is not, we don't have to be living for our fans. We don't have to be, being who they want us to be, because that's a very pressurizing life and that's a very tiring life. You just need to be yourself, be authentic, and yeah, just not care about what people say. There's going to be positives and negatives. Just take it in your stride. I think I've been trying to not focus and magnify the negatives too much. So
You've just dropped a lesson on this particular industry without even realizing. I think like there are so many of them who think twice before they say anything, and that wouldn't be organic,
And
and
that-
it'll all
yeah.
be just people pleasing, so they don't get any flack coming back at them.
Yeah,
and that's
fine.
also because they don't have something that they can lean onto the side.
Yeah,
But here you said once you have something that you can
Yeah.
hold on to,
Yeah.
you don't need to think or depend on what you say. You can be as organic
You can
as
just
you can.
be honest, man, because and I'm not saying be an asshole. I'm saying you can be kind, be a good person. That is for sure. But if you have something honest to say, don't be scared to say it.
Yeah.
Right? You have one life. Like, you can be yourself. Like, that's the most valuable thing you can do, because there's nobody else like you, right? So just being yourself, I think, is super important in any industry. Yeah, especially something where you're in the public eye. Because I feel like if you're not yourself, it's gonna be like you running after this and running after that and just not losing your way, basically. Yeah.
You're doing 2 movies now.
I have
To release yet, right?
one English, one Tamil. And
One English, your dream has come true.
Yay!
Wait,
Yeah.
when you say English, could be a little precise for us. Where is this movie from?
we shot it in Bangalore,
Uh-huh.
and it's based on a Telugu family that is basically getting their daughter married, and I am the daughter's best friend.
Is this a silver screen movie?
They're most probably releasing it on Netflix.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was having a discussion with somebody, one of the actors, a common circle as well.
Yeah.
I was telling him, Macha, why can't we do English movies in Bangalore? Because
Yeah,
there is a
yeah, yeah.
huge crowd. I know our population has
Are you
gone out
talking
of
about
the
Ani?
Huh?
Are you talking about Ani? Okay.
I was like, why can't you do like an English movie in Bangalore? And I'm sure even the regular audience, the OG crowd, will always going to be there
Yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah.
Then he gave me a thing, Macha, but the monies and the mass is only Bangalore, this, that. I was like, okay, you make sense now.
Yeah, it'll be a very small project, even if maybe we should all come together and do an English project, man. Yeah.
Including me.
Ani also.
I don't know, so much faith somebody will have in me for acting. Maybe script write, maybe.
Yeah, script maybe, or anything. Like, yeah.
We'll see. I'll have to ask
Who
Kani
knows,
once I get
maybe
to-
you can play like a role, man. You've never tried.
Dude, I actually was asked for a role last year. I think it was a movie by a Kannada actor called Prithvi Ambyar.
Okay.
One of my friend was doing the casting, and I had long hair that time. He said you have to be his best friend. I said okay, cool, and all.
Yeah.
And he said you had to send me an audition tape. I didn't end up sending the audition tape.
What a guy, dude. Why?
So I was too busy with the studio and everything. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to put some effort. What will I talk in this? And there was one more thing I did, okay? There was an audition happening for this movie called Maidan,
Okay.
which is based on the Indian football team from 1952.
Okay.
Boni Kapoor film. This happened a couple of years ago, pre-COVID as well.
Okay.
And I went into the studio. I think a lot of you know these people as well. This production company. I went full BFC kit, I own shots and
Crazy.
all my studs and everything. At that point, I speak decent Hindi. I speak good Hindi. I'm not going to lie. But at that point, they asked me to like introduce myself in Hindi. I'm like... and I was working for a particular radio station that time. So that format is sat in my head. I'm like, Madhuri Raymond or... And then after that I was thinking, wait, what did I just do?
With
I
an
went
accent.
back, drank and
Just drowned your sorrows.
drowned my sorrows that day. Then I said, okay, if someone wants... Then even recently somebody called me up, one of my very close aides from the radio. He's someone who's very big from Tamil industry. Chennai radio. And he's got a very baritone voice. You might know of him as well. So he called me up that day, bro, there's this role in Chennai and I recommended your name. So I'm not trusting you ever again. Stop all these. No. So they said they wanted an RJ and they wanted someone who can speak Tamil. I said, have you heard me speak Tamil first?
Why your Tamil's bad or what?
Terrible.
Aren't you Tamilian?
I am, but I'm very Bangalore Tamil and I don't speak much at home as well.
Okay.
Only place I speak is outside. And what do we speak outside?
Yeah.
English or that broken
Half,
Tamil that I
half.
have, yeah. So don't even ask me to teach you anything in Tamil. It's terrible. Only now actually I learned a little bit over time is because I met someone in Chennai and I really liked the way that person spoke. And I ended up talking to that person on a daily basis and then now I kind of like Tamil. Otherwise I always detested Tamil. I'm a proper Bangalore guy.
Because it's a mother tongue and you live in Bangalore.
Bangalore and I was like always this cold war between Bangalore and Chennai. So that was the reason.
But how's your Kannada?
I can survive in the city.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I didn't do Kannada after 10th standard. I did French and add English after that. So
Yeah.
even the crowd that you are with kind of amplifies what you speak as well.
For
right?
sure.
So where is our crowd speaking in Kannada? All
Yeah.
Mangaloreans and Goans
Yeah,
and Anglos
yeah,
around.
yeah.
They talk, "Hey, Baga, what you did dance." It's the same lingo,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you don't
English.
end up speaking Kannada at all.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we don't know the language. Just that
Yeah, it's like Hindi, man. Like I know if I hear someone speaking Hindi, I can understand. But then the minute I have to speak, I'm like full cold feet. I'm like, who or ha? Do I say hai or do I say who? Like, because it's,
It's a sudden
grammar
change,
wise. Yeah,
no?
and then apparently objects have gender and all. I'm like, bro, that's a bit much. Like,
it's like how, when they say somebody wants to speak in English, they would think in their local language and then translate it into English.
yeah.
But in our case, in most Bangaloreans, we think in English, then translate into our local
Yeah.
languages. So it's like full vice versa.
And then
like,
the
doesn't
words
work.
are like all mixed up because in English it doesn't sound like it does in
You're
other
not giving
languages.
genders to certain things.
Yeah, like when I have to say मैं आ रही हूँ, I'll have to say that, but a guy will have to say something
मैं आ
else.
रहा हूँ.
Yeah, आ रहा हूँ, right? I don't know, man. I hope I'm saying this right.
No, yeah, exactly.
But in English it's all the same. So I don't know. But it's also, there is something nice about having so many languages. I used to complain about the fact that why are there so many languages? I'm sick of learning languages. But now I'm actually like enjoying learning different dialects and different, learning about different cultures. And I don't know. I think India and its heritage is pretty cool. Actually.
I always say this, we're like a downsized version of India, Bangalore, because
Yeah.
of the cultures that we have, the cosmopolitan culture. I will never forget this. I remember we went, I don't drink tea, but we went to have chai outside church once, and my friend is ordered.
Did you just say you don't drink
No.
tea?
I used to do 30, 60, 90, no, I've cut out of that also. So this
Okay,
guy's
no, what were you
ordered,
saying? Huh.
he's like, Cheta, do doodh, teen pal, 2 milk. And he's gone into saying hal also. Okay? So I'm like, dude, what did you order? I ordered tea. I said, idiot, you ordered all milk, but in different languages. So I think it's a funny concoction of how, we speak. And in one sentence, you would hear 4 languages.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're talking to some guy in Hindi and then somebody
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
this
yeah.
then he like, goes in, something comes in English. Now boy comes in Tamil. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful to be a part of this culture. Blessed, man, like the weather,
Yeah.
everything is so good here.
Yeah,
But then talking from languages, let's go into your point right now is you're an actress.
Yeah.
You're also a special educator. You do voiceovers and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Now, we are also in this particular time where in most cases, if you have a certain following on Instagram,
Yeah.
you are called an influencer. Would you like to be under that tag?
No, I actually don't like it, to be honest, because sometimes people meet me at these like PR events and all that, and they're like, yeah, you're an influencer, right? And I'm like, what does that mean? Because I really don't understand how this, I get it that, you're influencing people to buy products or to use certain things and to be a certain way. When it comes to lifestyle and fashion and stuff, you're literally forcing your own ideologies on other people. And I just find that a bit strange, because I feel like let people do what they want to do, But when it comes to actors endorsing a product, I feel that's a little different, because your fans look at you and then they go into research, and then they, at least if I'm a fan of an actor or a Hollywood actor or a singer artist, I go into their life and I find out more about them, and you end up knowing about their family, you end up knowing about so much, and then you want to be like them, like you want to emulate and you kind of not idolize, but you look up to
Revere
them, right? Yeah, you look up to them, and then you're like, okay, if they think that this product is good, it must be good. And so it's slightly different from being an influencer and just endorsing so many different things, and people just being like, yeah, if they have said this, then I want to do this. I think it comes from a slightly different place. So I think my fans or my followers have a particular liking towards me for various things, for various reasons, and they also have a conversation with me about certain things. Like, it's supposing something as simple as a lipstick or like a skincare product, right? I've had conversations with some girls who are like, what color is this, what brand is this, and why do you like it? And then I tell them why I like it on a personal basis. and then they go ahead and buy it if they want to. Or sometimes I'm like, for your skin it may not suit you, or for your skin type this product may not go. So, but when it comes to influencing, you're just like making sure you're just saying this is good, buy it, this is good,
You're
buy
just parroting what a brand is told you.
yeah, and very often the brand tells you what to say. But when you're an actor, I think the brand kind of gives you a little leeway. Yeah, they're like, you say what you want to say about.
Do you think this is there's a future in Instagram and being an influencer? We've
me,
come till now, no, not for you, but in general, I'm saying. We've come till now as far as it being quite a boom, but you think further ahead it's going to continue?
I think next 10 years max, dude. Yeah, after
You're
that.
being too
Too
nice.
much time? Yeah.
Way too much time.
Yeah, I think 10 years max. Like, because it's really getting a bit. Like, I have brands contacting me and saying, no, just barter, let's do barter. I'm like, I don't need this product. Why would I do barter, dude? Unless it's valuable to me,
Yeah.
I don't want it. If it's like, okay, a massager for like after, workout or something, like if it's a hypervolt or something, I'm like, great, I'll do barter. But something which is random, I'm like, no, bro, it just doesn't make sense. So, and I'm like, there are enough influencers, so please go to them, they will all do it. But they're like, no, we want a certain number of following, we want this, we want following from different states, all of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, then pay me. So it's
That's why an actor's influence comes into play. I mean, when I say influence, the following comes into play, because you have followers from different regions as well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to an influencer, there are certain things I think even you just mentioned, but let me just see what you say to this. What somebody is saying on Instagram means it's something about their experiences, what they've gone through in life.
Yeah.
And when we watch that, okay, we find some resonance with it because of a certain time that a lot of us go through. But that doesn't apply. Whatever that solution that person's giving is not going to apply to me at all, because it's just a certain incident and experience that is similar to each other. It's not a solution that will work the same way.
One for all, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure you would have come across a lot like this.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you have to go and see if there's something that you really want, right? Otherwise, I just don't see the point of like, there are certain influencers who I follow, especially fitness influencers, because that makes sense. It's something that they're teaching you how to do, and then you can go and do it yourself. But with product, I'm on
Not
the
just in
fence.
product, I'm saying in terms of mental well-being is what a lot of people are going on Instagram for.
Yeah.
As someone who's in that space, I'm not saying you're proactive,
Yeah.
but I'm saying someone who is of the right mind and is also doing the same craft.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this?
Should I do? You're saying you're asking me if I would.
I'm asking you, do you
already
think it's right for people to find solace with quotes and messages sent by influencers on Instagram?
Oh, okay. I think there is some truth to it, but a lot of people say stuff without having enough knowledge about it. And that is something we need to keep in mind. We can't be like, this person said this, so this is how my relationship needs to be. This person said this, so this is how I should be eating food. Or I don't think we can base everything on what one or two people say. It's just because people have a platform, they're like saying whatever they feel like, dude. Like, there are some people who I'm like, how are you doing this, dude? You're bullshitting your way through life. Like, it's just crazy. So I think, and also if you go, like, some people just watch the video and that's it. Some people go into the comments. And I'm one of those people who go into the comments.
All of us do.
Yeah, a lot of people do. They're like, hey, you went and read. I'm like, yes. And then when I look at the comments, I can see people who've studied about those things being like, this is bullshit. You do not say this on a public platform, So I think we need to take it with a pinch of salt and not really just fall for everything too easily.
I think it's very important to find the right mentors.
Yeah, it's like scam calls, man. You know how many scam calls I get these days on a daily basis, Rio?
What scam calls are you getting?
Random calls from random like banks, loans, just saying there's some parcel from somewhere, there's something about your passport, something about some bank account, like random scam calls. And I'm like, dude, I'm not picking up calls anymore. And now even people who I know also, sometimes I don't, like, if it's an unknown number, I will not pick up. And they're like, dude, why aren't you picking up? It's me. I'm like, just message me. So now I just don't pick up unknown numbers because...
Is your number on a lot of platforms?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't know if I've told you this also. There was one of these dating apps called Two a long time ago, and there was a fake profile with your pictures, and I sent it to Lalit as well.
You told me, yeah.
So
I didn't know whether to feel cool or feel weird about that. I was like, this is strange. But yeah, there have been lots of people who've used my pictures randomly for things and catfishing and all that stuff. But usually people send it to me. Thankfully, then my
The circle is
is
around.
big, yeah, and then people end up telling
The
me.
circle is big also is because I keep saying this. In any other place, maybe there's a 6-degree separation, but in Bangalore, it's just a 1-degree
Yeah,
separation.
dude, yeah.
You know one person, then you
Yeah.
know like 10 more around that thing, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, my friend Vindhya keeps saying, dude, you literally have 1-degree separation from anyone in the world, not just in Bangalore. And I'm like, yeah, that's because when you have a big family and you've done like
Oh, yeah.
different courses, you've like done different professions, you automatically your circle just
True.
becomes bigger. So yeah, it's nice.
Well, it's good to know. And one thing I want to ask you, again, being in the place that you are at, I'm going to put you on the spot, but let's see if you do this. One influencer you think is amazing?
I think travel with Shanaz.
Travel with Shanaz.
Yeah.
Okay. One influencer you think people should just not bother following? If they are, just get away.
Man, that's a tough one.
Or you just don't want to mention a name?
No, promise. Like my mind is blank.
Or there are too many mans actually.
Really? No, I just don't follow anyone who I don't.
No, I'm not saying someone you follow, but I'm
yeah,
saying
but
there
if-
would have
if
been
I've
somebody
seen-
who would have seen on a feed and said, what nonsense is this person talking? Don't believe them.
I honestly can't think of anyone.
Smart become full diplo.
No, dude.
Would influencers be called rightfully as influencers? They're just marketing accounts.
Half and half. I think some are genuinely really good at what they do and they put in a lot of effort. They make great content. They put in a good amount of effort and time into shooting their content and do super interesting stuff. But some are just like not doing much to just like dancing around and just like not. I think it's a mix. It's 50-50. Yeah, and I'm not
also
being
because
diplomatic.
I know I've bashed Instagram quite a bit, but I think I should also give it a little bit of a reverence in terms of saying there has been a huge amount of dearth of talent in Bangalore for years together, but then we've never hit. There's not been many names that have gone outside and done something in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But because of Instagram, there are a lot of the Bangaloreans who are coming out and being very prominent. Some prominent names as well.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you who's your favorite Instagrammer from Bangalore, your favorite content creator from Bangalore, who would that be?
Content creator.
Either it could be you just watch them and have a crack at it, or you're like, oh wow, I'm getting inspired by this.
I really like Masala Lab, but I don't know if he's from Bangalore. Is he from Bangalore?
Masala Lab, I'm not sure. We can figure that out. You can just mention if you like to mention.
Yeah. Masala Lab is good. Bare Necessities, but that's, I don't think she's an influencer, it's a brand. Yeah, this girl Seher Mansoor, she literally lives a zero waste lifestyle,
Oh, nice.
and that's amazing. Like in the year, I think this much waste she has, which she puts in like a bottle in a year. That's insane. That's very inspirational.
I don't know how we ever quantify the waste or even the ones that we use, how much.
Yeah,
That's difficult
like
to say.
she's literally everything she does is zero waste, and that's super inspiring to me. Yeah.
Well, you're also inspiring what you do, so you don't have to say yes, others
Thank
inspiring.
you.
And we'll go on to you being a Bangalore girl. I know there's a lot that being Bangaloreans we miss, and some things that we really cherish now as well. And there's a lot of things that we miss, a lot of things that we cherish as well over time. But let's find out what Madh's likes and misses about old Bangalore, or even something to do with new Bangalore.
I miss all the greenery.
That all of us miss. Let's go question by question.
I miss. Oh, fine. Let's go question by question.
Okay, favorite breakfast spot in Bangalore?
Man, they're very difficult questions. Now it's Kopiti Amla.
Okay. This is something we've all grown up around. MG Road, Church Street, your favorite spot?
MG Road or Church Street? Which road? Church Street.
Best place in Bangalore for a peaceful evening? Could be old, could be new.
Trippy Goat Cafe.
One thing about Bangalore that reminds you of home?
The weather.
These two are the lungs of Bangalore, Cubbon Park or Lal Bagh. What do you prefer?
That's tough. Cubbon Park.
Now, to experience a good Bangalore ride, cab, metro, auto.
Metro.
One place from old Bangalore you miss.
Couch.
One place from
Like-
old Bangalore. Oh, the couch. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing from old Bangalore you miss.
The Mississippi mud pie from Painted Platters.
Never saw that coming. Best thing about being a Bangalorean.
Just knowing everyone. Like, it's just like everybody knows everybody, and you go anywhere and like you just bump into people that you know. You just feel like you're living in a small town. You feel like you're living in a small town, but it's actually a huge city.
I'll detail that in a bit. But Bangalore or Bengaluru?
Bangalore.
Why do you say Bangalore?
Because I just like the name. Bengaluru sounds a bit like I have to continue talking in Kannada after that.
I'll just add to that part where you said about how it's a very small town. It's become a small town. We're no more the majority in this town.
Yeah.
It's sad. We've been a city of migrants, but I guess the OG migrants also not anymore OGs. But yeah, so
Everywhere I go, I hear Hindi. Everywhere.
I don't think you get irritated with Hindi. It's just about a little
Yeah, I
overthrow
don't-
of it is
yeah,
what
I don't get irritated, but I'm like, where are the Bangaloreans? Like,
we have to just meet our friends. Okay, we'll meet
just,
our
it's just the people I know, and the rest is just other people from other states.
Anyway, now we're making bigger friends and bigger circles with
Yeah.
the industry. What's happening next apart from movies, Mads, with you?
I'm trying to relocate. I'm not sure though.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I love Bangalore, I just feel like acting and special advice, maybe Bangalore's not the place for it. So
And you also mentioned that you would like to do Bollywood someday.
yeah, I mean,
Now you don't look that excited about it.
depends on the
Script.
script. Yeah, if it's like some item number kind of film, I'm like, no, bro.
And if there was one actor you'd like to be paired alongside, who would it be?
Indian?
Yeah, Indian show, no?
Fahad Fazil?
Oh, okay. Now I'll give you your choice. If it was one actor you'd like to be paired with internationally.
That's tough. I want to say Kate Winslet, Eddie Redmayne, or Ryan Reynolds.
One.
Stop it.
One, dude. What? You'll have to answer so many other questions and so many other
Okay,
interviews.
fine. Ryan
Just
Reynolds.
practice
Ryan
run.
Reynolds. He's just too hot and he's too funny.
And one movie you wish you were a part of.
That is hard.
I know you're thinking, the way you went thinking, I think it's gone full
It was
west,
like-
I think.
Yeah. There were like some 50 films that came to mind. But the Titanic.
So no wonder Kate Winslet.
Yeah, no, I'm not just... Yeah, she's awesome even now. But just that story and how impactful it was with different generations and having to be able to swim through things and go through those emotions and be able to fight and be able to be naked. So many different things, man. It's like, it's insane.
Favorite movie?
Meaning as an actor or to watch?
What do you like to watch? What?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
My God. Robin Williams all the way.
Yeah, he was something else.
Well, that was a brilliant chat, Mads, to know something of your side, which I didn't speak of last time as well.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, if you were to say something to someone who is doing something in life but have their own challenges, what would you say?
Challenges are a part of life, and without the lows, we can't feel the highs. So, yeah, there's no way but up from if you're low and if you're down. So, yeah, just know that time heals and just give it a little bit of time and it'll get better. Even if it takes a little longer than you think, it'll always get better. And
If you have to say it like a Bangalorean.
just solpa adjust madi.
Thanks, Mads. Absolute pleasure having you in the studios again. And this one for surely will be out.
Yay!